Hey everyone, it's Jenny. I'm here with you guys today from the future. I'm actually just having a little recording here to talk to you about what you're about to see. I recorded an episode of a whip update, finished objects, the whole normal podcast, and I did record it and I did not edit it because after I recorded it, I got busy. It was spring break, the kids are home, and then you're doing your spring cleanup stuff, and yeah, it fell to the wayside. It was just on the back burner for too long. And I finally have gotten around to edit it. So what you're going to see next after this little blurb is my 6-week-old whip update. But I am putting something at the very end of that video to take you along on my journey of getting my skater skirt finished and getting this cardigan finished. I got the buttons put on the cardigan and I got the pockets put into the skater skirt. I have my pear skirt blocking right now, so I don't have the waistband in that yet. And then I think the other thing I was thinking might need a bit of attention was a sweater I had knit a long time ago. I thought it looked like maybe the underarms needed to have a bit of extra reinforcement, but then I pulled it out of the drawer today and it looked fine, so I just left it. So the only thing left on my finishing my finished objects list is my pear skirt elastic band, which will happen once it's blocked and after I buy the elastic band, because I didn't do that yet. So here is my 6-week-old whip update, and I will do a proper whip update again in a couple weeks to show you where I'm at since then, I've had some progress, but not a ton because they're kind of slower projects. But anyways, I hope you enjoy, and I will catch up with you guys later. Bye. Hey everyone, welcome back to Bit by Knit with me, Jenny. I'm here with you guys today on the west coast of Canada in beautiful British Columbia. And today I do have a finished object. It's a small finished object, but there is a finished object in today's video. I've got a few whips to talk about, maybe kind of a new whip, but not really any new whips, and some acquisitions because I ended up going to Fibers West. So I'm excited to share what I was able to get when I was there. And a heads up, I did not take any footage while I was there. No pictures even, no videos. I just forgot. So yeah, and I also visited the Woolly Bulldog while I was out that way, so we'll talk about that at the end of the video. We're gonna start today with what I'm wearing, and I figured I would wear my Nantucket wrap today because I finished it. I believe it was the last episode that I finished it, and I hadn't blocked it, and I've blocked it since then, and I did do a little video of it blocked, which I'll put up here, and the only difference really in the before and after blocking is the length of it. So it's pretty long now. If I'm wearing it like fully, this part all the way down instead of back, it pretty much goes to my feet. It's very long. And that might have been mostly how I blocked it because I should have taken a picture of it. I didn't. But when I blocked it, I just hung it off of my shower curtain to dry because it's so long. I didn't have any place to put it. My blocking mats weren't going to be long enough. It's an accessory, so it's fine that it's super long. So I just did it that way. It still curls at the edges. It's not, the I-cord doesn't seem to do much to help like dissuade that curl. So blocking it didn't really help with that. And I even put clips on the edges with each other, like back and front clipped it so that it would be straight. But even still, it's curling, but that's okay. I don't mind it so much. It's not bothering me. I'm not gonna block it again just to fix that. I'm sure that if I was more particular about how I blocked it and put it on blocking mats and pinned it properly, it would have kept it from curling, but I didn't want to put that much effort into it for an accessory. So yeah, we just hung it from the curtain rod and let it dry and it was fine. So long, still curling, comfortable, cozy. I'm wearing it today because it's a warm, sunny day. Well, I shouldn't say it's warm. It's more warm in my house, but it's a sunny, beautiful day outside. I wanted to wear a t-shirt and I thought this would be a good time to wear this. It's going to be something I'm fidgeting with. I can tell already. I've got it bunched up in my lap and I will be scrunching it as we're probably recording, but that's okay. For this wrap, I should talk about the wrap a bit. This wrap is, like I said, the Nantucket wrap, and it's a design by Michelle Frazetta, Mishy Fraz on YouTube and Instagram, I believe, as well. I knit this using the Drop Snored yarn. It's a sport weight yarn. It is 45% alpaca, 30% polyamide, and 25% wool. And I used, this colorway is light beige, number 7, and the other colors in here, let's see. I've got Deep Ocean, Forest Green, Goldenrod, Brick Red or Rust, and I think that one's Rust, and Brick Red. And I have quite a bit of each of the colors left and almost 2 full skeins of the beige left. So I'll have to figure out a project for them in the future. This project, oh my goodness, it keeps sliding off my shoulders. This project is knit on 4mm needles. The gauge is 23 stitches by 23 stitches for 33 rows to make 10 centimeters, and it's in a broken seed stitch pattern. For this pattern, you can also choose to make it with armholes or without, and I chose to do it with the armholes. And they're like really deep armholes, so you have the option to slide it down your back if you want, or like it can go all the way forward and be longer at the front as well. So I'll probably fiddle with that a bit throughout this video and wear it both ways. It feels like it's pulling a bit, I guess, when it's all the way forward, just because it is so long, the one that I knit. So when I slide it back like this, it feels a little less like it's pulling down on me. So I do like it this way a bit better, but it does seem to slide off my shoulders easily. So it's something that I need to figure out how to wear. I started this wrap on April 16th, 2025, and I finished it March 10th, 2026. So it took me almost a year to finish, but it was a labor of love. Okay, so onto my finished objects, which is just really one thing, and it's my socks. I finally finished them. Actually, I haven't woven in my ends on my second sock yet, and I still even have my little light bulb stitch marker on it showing me front. That's the front then. When I'm knitting them, I always put a little light bulb stitch marker on the front so I remember which side I'm doing the pattern on, because I did a like a ribbed pattern. It's just knit 3, purl 1, rib, 3x1 rib. There we go. It's 3x1 rib, and I only do it on the front when it's on the foot, and then I'll do it on the whole thing for the cuff, for the, no, I said that wrong, for the ankle. So this is just a bottom-up sock. I use a pattern from, I use the information from Nimble Needles to knit the toe, and then I just did my own thing for the body of the sock, and then I do a German short row heel. And then it's just a shorty because I don't like long socks, and just a 1x1 rib at the cuff. Yeah. This yarn is from the Wool Bear, and it's actually a yarn that was gifted to me from Megan at Bramble Ridge. She had knit a pair of socks with it and then passed on the remainder yarn to me. So it was a gift for the yarn, at least for the self-striping yarn. It's Wool Bear and self-striping yarn in the colorway Tropical Staycation. 75, it's a 75 superwash merino, 25% nylon blend. And then for the heels, toes, and cuffs, I used Crafty Jack's Tough and Tender yarn, which is a blend of Targhee, I think it's 90% Targhee and 10% nylon. Like all the socks that I knit, these are unblocked and they will not be blocked before I wear them. I just knit them, I weave in the ends and I wear them, and then they go in the washing machine. I do a gentle cycle wash and I just hang them to dry. And yeah, that's how I take care of my socks. I don't treat them too preciously. I do still have a good amount of yarn left. I have this much. So what's really nice when I get this gifted from Megan is that she's already separated it into 2 balls. It's like you can do tandem knitting or knitting them 2 at a time if you want. So they're evenly divided. So I have this much left of each, and I'm pretty much starting at the same point on each of them. And then I can probably almost get a second sock out of both of them. So what I'm doing, I thought about starting a second sock, but I decided to not use it yet for the second sock in case there's not enough left. I can use this plus scraps of a different yarn for a second pair when I finish my next pair, if that makes sense. And a bit more, I'll quickly also mention for the sock, I did 2.25, yes, I knit these on 2.25mm needles, and I cast on, I do like 16 stitches, cast on, 8 and 8, and then you're knitting it, increasing it till I hit 64 stitches. So that's my only finished object. I'd hoped I'd have my skirt done by now, but it's not, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But first we'll talk about my first whip that I want to talk about is another pair of socks. Since I finished a pair, I might as well start about my next pair as well for my first work in progress. So I'm working on another pair of socks. I've got another gift from Megan at Bramble Ridge. She had used this yarn as well and then gifted me the remainder of it for me to use up for socks. This yarn is, okay, so this yarn is from Turtle Pearl. Turtle Pearl? Yes. Turtle Pearl, and it's the colorway, what does it mean? Colorway, what does it mean for Turtle Pearl? It's another beautiful self-striping yarn, and I really like this one because it's like, you know, you get the rainbow, you get some gray, but then it does the inverse of the rainbow. So here you started with the red, worked up to the purple, and then you go from the purple, work up to the red, and then when I'm done this gray section, it will be red again, and working up to the purple. And I'm doing the same thing. I did toe up and increased until 64 stitches, and then I'm doing another 3x1 rib on the top of the foot. Back of the foot is just stockinette, and then I'm almost ready to put the heel in, and it will just be another German short row heel and then another shorty sock. So I'll probably have, it doesn't look like I'll have quite as much left from this one when I'm done as I did from the other one, but it will be enough that when I'm done this sock, I can knit another sock starting with this one and ending with this one, and it should be, I think it'll actually be more than enough for another pair of socks. Because I've got my other ball here to start my second sock on when this one's done. And again, it's just the Tough and Tender from Crafty Jacks for my toe, and it'll be again for my heel and my cuff. I finally started my socks again because the way my work schedule was this past week and I wasn't feeling well as well. I only had the brain space for socks. I should have actually picked up my blanket, but I chose socks instead. Okay, so let's talk about my Paris skirt. I almost was finished with it. I was going to bind off, but then I thought I might want a bit more length on it. So we're still knitting. But this is where my Paris skirt is. This is my Paris skirt. It's a pattern by me and Simone. This skirt I'm knitting out of a couple of different yarns. It calls for mohair, but I'm using mohair and Surrey for the skirt. But what you do is you start with the waistband. You're knitting, it's actually, it calls for just a stockinette waistband. I did a 1x1 ribbed waistband instead, just for ease of picking up the stitches when you're joining it. To create a space for your elastic band. So you're knitting it together with the cast on edge after you've knit a little bit of length. And then you do knit a little bit in your non-Surrey or non-mohair yarn before you pick up for the Surrey and mohair because it gives it a little more structure. For my waistband, I used Bramble Ridge's Wool and Spun yarn in the colorway Mist. I had a bit of it left over from another project, so I used it in the waistband, and then once I was done that, I started to use the mohair in the Surrey. My mohair that I'm using is, Knit Picks Aloft, and it's a lace weight in the colorway. This one is the colorway Paloma Heather. And I actually was holding it triple. The pattern calls for it double, but I was holding it triple because I had so much. And I'm actually holding it double now at the bottom just because I ran out of this one. So I only have these two left. And then I did do some striping. So every little bit, like I did 18 rows, and then I dropped one of the Alofts and I picked up a Surrey from Bramble Ridge and I did 9 rows. Then I dropped that Surrey. I picked up a different color Surrey and I did 6 rows. And then again, I just kind of repeated that. So my Surrey is Mist for the lighter one and Coral for the darker one. And now I've done 2 whole repeats of that and I'm back to just holding the Aloft. And I think I feel like I'll go a little bit further. So I'm going to probably have to hold my Surreys again before I reach the 18 row repeat and bind off. This is reaching to just about my knees here. And I think it should be longer just because it's so like voluminous. It's got so much volume that if it's too short, it might look kind of funny. So that's why I decided to continue on with it. I think when I showed it last, I was about here. So I've knit this much more. And yeah, I'll just have to keep going a little longer just to make sure that it hits low enough that it doesn't look silly when it's all done. You start with 3.75 millimeter needles to do the waistband. And then once you're done the waistband, you switch to, I believe it's 5 millimeter needles. And then you're increasing and changing your needle size all the way down till you reach 9 millimeter needles, which you can see right here is when I switched to it, because it was quite a jump. It was like, I think you did 5 millimeter, 6.5 maybe, and then like jump to 9 all of a sudden. So I think it's pretty obvious there. Okay, so hopefully, I'm really hoping that by the next episode, this will be done. I didn't work on it as much as I hoped to because I wasn't feeling great and I just didn't want to, I just didn't want to. So we'll see if it's done by next time. Hopefully it will be. Okay, so my next work in progress, that's the right one. My next work in progress is my Anacortes pullover. This is a pattern by Michelle Frazetta, Michi Fraz on YouTube and Instagram. And she's actually hosting an Anacortes knit along right now. So she has the Anacortes pullover, socks, and shawl. So anybody who's knitting on those and wants to can join her knit along. There we go. Can join her knit along. And she also has a Discord channel going so that if you wanted to connect with other people who are doing the knit along, you can. And anyway, so I'm in that knit along and I'm doing the pullover. So this pullover has a couple of options. It has a long sleeve option and a short sleeve option. I'm going to do the long sleeve option, and I'm knitting it in the size 2, and that will achieve a 37.5 finished bust circumference when it's all done. And I'm 33.5, so that'll give me like 4 inches of positive ease there. So this is a top-down raglan pattern. You start with your neckline. You're doing a twisted rib neck. Then you switch to your broken rib pattern for the rest of it, but you do keep the twisted stitches in your raglan. So that's really a unique feature. You're keeping the twisted stitch for your raglan, which is also going to travel down the length of your sleeve and down the side of the garment as well. And the pattern does have some short row shaping as well at the back neck. I think I might be actually showing you the back of this. I think that's the front. Yeah, so you're doing some short row shaping on it as well. And I'm almost at the part where I can divide my sleeves from the body and can start knitting it around. And I'm a little bit nervous that it's a bit small. My gauge swatch is on, my gauge swatch is accurate. And when I look at this and I measure it, it does seem to be fitting the gauge as well, but it looks kind of small. So I'm a little bit nervous that this isn't gonna fit. But I think I will finish the increases, divide my sleeves from my body, and then give it a little try on and see how we're doing. I could have totally switched it to bigger, like a longer cable, and I'm hoping that's why it feels small, because I'm not on a very long cable, so scrunched up. I'm really hoping that's the reason. But yeah, it does look kind of small. For the yarn, I'm using Knitting for Olive. I've got their soft silk mohair held with their merino, and so that's making my DK weight yarn, and this is the colorway deep. What is it again? The colorway is Plum Clay. And the gauge is 22 stitches by 34 rows for your 10 centimeters. Okay. My next work in progress is my Melon sweater. This is a pattern by Maya Deglon, Maya Tinks on YouTube, and I think on Instagram as well. I'm knitting the size 2 in this pattern. And for this pattern, you actually start without the neckband, like you just start in the pattern, and then you add the neckband at the end. But as you can see, my neckband is on, and I'm actually going to rip it out because I don't like it. I did a different neckband than what the pattern calls for, just thinking that I might like to try a ribbed neckband, and I don't like it. So ignore the fact that it's there. It's not going to stay. But for this pattern, I'm knitting the size 2. And the pattern calls for -4 centimeters to +4 centimeters of ease. And so I'm knitting it to basically 0 centimeters of ease for a bust circumference of 33.5 inches. And I know I'm flip-flopping between centimeters and inches, but that's the Canadian way. I'm going to be knitting the long sleeved version. She has a short sleeve version as well. And I think actually both of her samples are cropped, and mine won't be cropped. It'll be a normal length for what I prefer. But for this pattern, you're knitting this melon pattern. And then for the sleeves, you're actually doing a little bit of a different slip stitch pattern here to make it, just to give it a bit of different texture. And it's an all over patterned garment. The gauge is 30 centimeters. No, I said that wrong. The gauge is 30 stitches by 56 rows for your 10 centimeters. So it's quite a small gauge. And it's a fingering weight garment. So you're actually using 4mm needles for the pattern, and it's 2.75, I believe. Yeah, 2.75 for your neckband or like any stockinette part that's not in the pattern. And it's, I think it's called like a long slip stitch pattern. It's kind of like mosaic. It's kind of like mosaic knitting because you're only carrying one color at a time and you're switching between the two, so you don't have any floats in the back. Just slip stitches. So that's what's giving it this kind of melon texture. I'm also really close to splitting for sleeves, I think, in this, but it doesn't feel like it should be yet. It doesn't seem long enough to be splitting for sleeves. So I'm hoping that I still have some increases to do before that happens. I'm also nervous this is not going to fit. And again, I don't have it on a very long cord yet, and I probably could have switched to a longer cord, but I didn't, so I'm hoping that's the reason why. But it doesn't seem as long here. Like, if you look at these side by side, my Anacortes pullover is quite a bit longer before I split for sleeves than my melon sweater is. So this is going to really ride up in the armpit, I think, if I split soon. So I'm hoping, if I am in the part of the pattern where it tells me to split for sleeves, I'm just going to have to keep increasing or something to accommodate, I think, before I split. But we'll see. I feel like I'm flying through my like works in progresses and stuff, but I don't think I have a ton to say about them just because I haven't done much progress since my last video on them, really. Okay, so let's move on to my acquisitions. So for my first acquisition I want to talk about is actually this. Oh, I was wondering about that. They didn't attach that. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, this is my first acquisition I wanted to talk about. You might have seen once upon a time, I have one here that I had shown quite a while ago, and this is pretty full. Now it's I think I only have one page left to fill on this one, so I got another one made, and it's just a pattern, a book. It's just a planner that I got off of Etsy, and you just like send it to a printer, but I did adjust it a little bit because in this planner, it has, I think, like 18 different options that you print off, and I don't need all of those, and I wanted more of just the project planner page and not all the extras. So I had my husband figure out a way to make it so that I could have way more of these pages and none of the other pages that I didn't want. So this has like 30 of these ones and just a few additional pages, but not the because like this one has, the handmade pages, so you can put it into gifts that you make. It has the thank you pages. I didn't need all this again. It has the abbreviation pages that I didn't need. So I omitted a lot from that one and just made this one more about keeping track of my project. So hopefully it'll last a little longer than just a year. I think I did 30 pages in it, so that'll definitely be more than what I can knit in a year. Okay, so first acquisition. Okay, so then at Fibers West, I just went by myself, and I actually only stayed for a half an hour because I had bought enough in a half an hour. I didn't need to stay any longer. What I did was I did a circuit around it first, and then once I realized what I wanted after my circuit, I went back and I got a few things. Actually, I'm missing something. The first thing I'm going to show you that I bought is actually a bit of a sad acquisition because I bought this cup. This is from Eek Pottery. Yes, Eek Pottery. I bought it because orange is my favorite color and it's beautiful. And then a week later, my husband broke it. So we have to get another one. It's completely cracked here too, so I can't even use it for plants, and the handle's completely broken off. I've got the pieces inside, if you can hear it kind of moving around. So hopefully I will get a replacement one, but yeah, it has to go in the garbage, unfortunately. So that's the only sad one. Next, I found buttons for my Daphne's cardigan. I haven't put them on yet, but I did buy them. I'll show them. I don't think I actually have the information on where which company this came from. So if I can find that information, I'll write it here, because there's a really cool little boutique, or like, yeah, they had really cool buttons. Let's see. I don't know if you guys can see that well. It's kind of hard to hold them up, but they're all in the colors of my cardigan here. So I have like the yellow, the pink, the green, the purple, the blue, and some gray, a gray one. So I thought those were so cute. And I actually wore the cardigan to Fibers West so that I could like hold the buttons up to it and see if it would look really good. And yeah, I really like them, and I'm really happy with these. I'll have to put them on. Next is putting them on. We'll see how long that'll take, but I have them. So then I just bought a couple of skeins of yarn. I actually didn't buy too many skeins of yarn, but I bought two from Crafty Jack's boutique. I bought this. This is their sock one, the heartfelt sock, and then again another tough and tender for the heels, toes, and cuffs of things. This one is called An Amazing Nebula, and this one is called Adrift. And I thought they looked really cute together. And then this will be good for just other projects. It's kind of funny. This one's coming up really blue, but it's actually teal. It's like, I don't know why the camera makes it look blue. It's teal. Yeah, so those two yarns from Crafty Jack's. And then I got this one from K-Zip Knits. And this is called Grand Oro. Oro? I think that's what it says, Grand Oro. And it's just a nice sock yarn. I thought it was really pretty. I think, if I remember correctly, she had a bunch of these, kind of a bunch of different colors, and then she had knit them up to show how it was going to look in a swatch. And then it was also attached above it was a picture of her inspiration. I'm pretty sure this one was inspired by a cat picture. And then my biggest purchase from Fibers West is this cone of yarn. This is from Kensington Prairie Farms. They had a bunch of different cones. They had like your really thin lace weight ones. And then they had this cotton alpaca blend as well. And it's all natural colors. So there was this, a lighter tan, a white, I think a brown. But I really like this kind of oatmeal-y looking one. And so, like I said, I think it's 50-50. I think it's 50 alpaca, 50% cotton, and it's a DK weight. I'm pretty sure it measures as a DK weight. It doesn't really say in the cone what the weight is, but it says how many wraps per inch is in it. And I think it said 12. And wait, it doesn't say wraps per inch. It says count NM 4/8, whatever that means. And I was wrong. It's 35%. It's 35% alpaca. Oh my goodness. 35% alpaca, 65% cotton. And I think I want to make a summer garment out of it, at least one summer garment out of it. It'll be enough for, I'm sure, more than, I'm positive it'll be enough for more than one garment, but I was thinking a summer one, and then maybe a cardigan or a couple of summer garments might be nice. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it, but I was really happy to get it. That's all I got at Fibers West. After Fibers West, I went to the Woolly Bulldog, and I went there specifically to get some needles because I knew that they were selling Lantern Moon needles and I really wanted to get a set. And so that's what I purchased at the Woolly Bulldog. I actually haven't even opened this. I mean, we opened it in the store just so I could look at it, but I haven't opened it myself since I got home with it. And that means I haven't used them yet either, but it's just because I didn't want to cast on anything new yet when I still have so many things cast on. But it comes in this beautiful case, fabric case. And it has, I think I did 5-inch, I can't remember. Yeah. So they're just these nice wooden needles, and they're all interchangeables. It's just the standard size, like what is it, 3mm? Yeah, it goes from 3mm up to 8mm needles in this pouch. And then it has like all your cords and accessories in it as well, and some extra little pouches to carry things. So yeah, I thought that was a beautiful pouch, and I'm very excited to try these out. So just another set of interchangeable needles, and the reason I wanted the Lantern Moon is because they're wooden, and I've got Chow which are metal, and I do have a wooden set of needles, but they are knit picks, interchangeable needles, and I don't like how the cord doesn't have, like the cord holds memory on the Knit Picks one. So I'm always fighting with the cord. So I heard that Lantern Moon has like a better cord for that. And because it's wooden, I wanted another set of wooden needles for that reason. Okay. Yeah. So that's all I purchased. It was enough, spent enough money. Anyways, that's everything. I hope you guys enjoyed. And hopefully in the next video, my skirt will be done and I'll have some more progress on my other whips and maybe something else cast on, because I'm really excited to start my husband's sweater. And I actually, okay, this is a little sidebar, but have you guys seen the Project Hail Mary movie yet? So good. Amazing movie. Ryan Gosling wears a cardigan, basically what I was going to knit to him. Basically what I was going to knit for my husband, Ryan Gosling is wearing in that film. So I really want to knit it because it's trending right now. Not that that's the only reason. I was going to knit it anyways, but it's kind of cool that it's trending anyways. So hopefully that'll be on the needles next time I talk to you guys. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.